Okay, there are such beautiful insights that Saint Faustina's diary gives us, such spiritual treasures, nuggets of wisdom here and there. One of my favorite passages, interestingly, some of my favorite passages are passages where she encounters the devil or the demonic, right? Because a lot of times when the demonic enters the scene, there's a bit of an insight. What is the demon threatened by? What makes Satan uncomfortable? And so there's wisdom within the seemingly seeming threats of demonic presence. Although I wouldn't even call it threats, a threat, because God is greater. He who lives in the presence of God, in the sacramental life, in the life of prayer, in the life of adoration, as Faustina did, has nothing to fear. The devil is a dot compared to the gravity of God's power and might. So let's look at the diary. One of my favorite passages begins at the end of paragraph 1464. Faustina writes, "For while I was praying for sinners and offering all my sufferings for them, the evil spirit could not stand that." Then entering paragraph 1465, what happens? Taking the form of an apparition, he said, this is the devil, "Do not pray for sinners, but for yourself, for you will be damned." Paying no attention to Satan, I continued to pray with redoubled fervor for sinners. The evil spirit howled with fury, "Oh, if I had power over you," and disappeared. I saw that my suffering and prayer shackled Satan and snatched many souls from his clutches. Beautiful. What a beautiful lesson in spirituality. What a beautiful lesson in intercession. You know, sometimes, dear brothers and sisters, I believe we can fall into the temptation of making our prayer very either self oriented or perhaps domestically oriented. By domestically, I mean we may pray for our family, perhaps our closest friends, and of course, that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. But we may, in the process, completely neglect those who need it most in the world, those who are in the darkest places, and forget in the process that the meaning of life, it's not just about me, it's not just about my family members, it's about how many souls can I help Jesus bring into eternity in heaven? How many souls can I help unshackle from the chains of Satan's grasp? My recommendation is pray for those who are in the darkest places. Pray for those who are on the verge of hell. Pray for those who are in mortal sin. Pray for those who are contemplating suicide. Pray for those who are victims and slaves of the sex trafficking industry, and especially pray for their perpetrators, for conversion, and for the release of the captives, of course, but also for those perpetrators, because they are truly in Satan's grasp, spiritually in bondage. And that's what our Lord wants. And that's what makes Satan very uncomfortable. When you become someone who prays for those who are in the darkest places, then you become such a living light, such an instrument of God's grace through the power of intercession. Expand your prayer, and there will be wonders throughout the world that only in eternity will you be able to see, when thousands surround you, thousands of souls who have been influenced by the gifts of your spiritual life, by the gift of your yes, expanding beyond myself, expanding beyond my family, encircling the globe.